Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Craig Burrell, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Squadron Leader Debbie Baker. We warmly welcome the family of Private Owen Cooney O'Mara, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony around Australia. During the ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family and visitors, students on behalf of the following schools. From South Australia, Cleve Area School, and from Western Australia, Carey Baptist School, Canning Vale. Please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops at Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the hearts of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Owen O'Mara. Owen O'Mara, who went by his middle name, Cooney, was born in 1892 and was the second son of Michael and Ellen O'Mara. Cooney's mother was the daughter of Owen Cooney, after whom he was named. His father was born in Jugiong in 1852, had spent his life in the district and was known as a fine type of Australian, a cheery and sterling neighbour. Cooney and his 5 brothers grew up on the family property at Berrimungara. He attended the local public school and went on to study at Hereford House in Sydney before returning to work as a farmer. Cooney O'Mara enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 7th of August 1915. He was posted to the 1st Battalion and underwent a brief period of training in Australia before being sent for active service overseas. He was sent to Egypt, where he was transferred to the 45th Battalion in early 1916. In June, the 45th Battalion was sent to France to fight on the Western Front. The first major action of the 1st Anzac Corps, of which 45th Battalion was part, came near the French village of Pozières, which was captured by 1st Division on the 23rd of July. The 45th Division entered the front line some days later, and on the 5th of August, encountering heavy German shelling and a weak counter-attacks which were easily repulsed. They were relieved a few days later, but Private Cooney O'Mara did not return from his first period on the front line. On the night of the 6th of August, he was hit by an artillery shell and killed instantly. It is believed that he'd been buried at the back of the trench, close to where he was hit. His body was never recovered, and today he is commemorated on the memorial to the missing at Villebriand in France. He was 23 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour to my right, among more than 60,000 Australians who died during the First World War. His photograph is on display today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Owen Cooney O'Mara, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. Thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and good evening.